All right, on this episode of Bare Knuckle Bowker, very excited to be talking to an individual competing at BKFC Fight Night Edmonton, which goes down at the River Cree once again August 9th. And we have Hasan Al-Ghanim taking on Zach Pannell, and great having Hasan back on Bare Knuckle Bowker today. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. I imagine it feels good to, get back out there to compete and everything. I know the bare knuckle run has started quite strongly because I saw you had that post about going 3-0 all in less than 12 months and just how excited you were rather for, what's ahead. And it seems like this is the next chapter in that story. So I would think that you would be excited for August 9th and all.
Yeah, 100%. When I knew they were coming back to Canada, I knew that I wanted to be on that card, obviously, because it's in Canada. But it was just exciting just to pick up where I left off from last year, right? Went 3-0 last year, continue with the momentum, and then go 4-0, hopefully 5-0 by the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess just even briefly touching on the last fight, because, you talk about the excitement of being back in Canada, which is understandable, but it did seem like there was a goal to, have a fight in the States at some point, just as kind of like part of the journey. And obviously you got an impressive win in Denver in your last outing over Dusty Sparks, going the distance and showing, I guess, even more of your skill set in a bare knuckle context. So I guess just what were the main takeaways from that last fight at BKFC 67?
From my last fight, the main takeaway was sometimes it feels good to be the villain. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm Canadian going into Denver, which is in the U.S. there. I got booed quite a bit, which to me it doesn't really matter. Making sure I have my focus, had the game plan, focused on the game plan. And that was pretty much it. That was my main takeaway, don't let the booing and whatever bother me, and it'll be easier.
I guess in saying that, I guess on the other end of it, does being in front of a partisan crowd in Canada for some of your past BKFC fights, does it embolden a certain something in you? Does it give a bit of extra drive? I guess kind of creating a binary here between not letting being the away player phase you too much. Is there a certain something to, I guess, being the partisan favorite that really fuels you, just like the crowd getting behind you at all?
It seems like not really. The crowd loves blood, They love violence. They love just hearing the cracking of the knuckles into the skull, kind of. You know what I mean? They love that. So what I bring to the table is exactly that. They know I'm going to go in and hit somebody, and I'm not scared to hit somebody. So they might start booing me when I walk in, but right when, I hit somebody, they're cheering for that.
Yeah, you definitely bring that exciting, crowd-pleasing style and everything like that, and it seems evident from how the fans are responding to you in a live context when you're performing in the body of the fight, but just even people covering the sport. I thought it was cool that you got that nod for Knockout of the Year on the Mike and Mish show, and with that Dalton Steibel fight and everything like that. So, yeah, clearly making big impressions in many regards, it seems like.
Yeah, my goal was to... they gave me the opportunity with my debut fight, and my goal was to just take it and go, no looking back, no, oh, I wish I did this, I regret not doing this. No, it's just take it, go at it 100%. And I know my skill level. I know what I'm capable of doing. Just go out there and do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have quite the history of racking up these KOs in Edmonton and everything like that. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see you return to that market, because definitely a place that you get a lot of that support and everything like that. So love to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Obviously my goal at going to every fight is entertain the crowd and getting a knockout. So my goal for this fight is the exact same.
And I guess just on a stylistic kind of level, or even just maybe what your methodology may have looked like between the two different spaces, because and your prior fights in BKFC were in that smaller, fight night kind of ring, but just with your last outing being in, the bigger kind of ring they use for the numbered events, was there anything different in that performance there that you noticed that can, I guess, inform your bare knuckle game from here on out? Is there a certain feeling with returning to the small ring here? What are your thoughts on all of that, I suppose?
Moving from the small ring to the bigger ring was a little different, obviously, because my opponent was able to move around a little bit more. There is no cutting off the angles, you could say, like there is in boxing, because it's a circle, you know, it's not an actual square. So it was a little odd, but, you know, after I got comfortable with the range, the distance, the amount of movement that can happen in that big ring, I got comfortable with it, you know, because it's very similar size to our MMA ring here. Going into the small ring, hopefully, in the upcoming days here in the next 2 weeks, it feels like it's going to be back to my just typical style. Just, you know, let's just bash it out and see who stands.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the place that you train. I feel like you're obviously doing great things in the BKFC fold, but it seems like the Wolfhouse representation on all these BKFC Edmonton cards is so pronounced, and you guys just really doing great things, as demonstrated in a post that I saw circa 38 weeks ago, talking about just that undefeated run that the team has kind of put together, like 12-0 inside of the BKFC ring. So, I mean, yeah, definitely speaks volumes and everything.
Yeah, obviously we have a standard here. You know, if you don't give it your all, if you're not training to improve and you're just training just to have fun, go to our beginner classes, go to our rec classes. But if you're actually there to improve, we make sure that you're pushing yourself and you are pushing your teammates. And that's why we have the success that we've had. We've moved that success from the amateurs to the professionals now, right? So there is no spot for weakness here at the gym. You know what I mean?
And I mean, this opponent here is interesting in a sense too, just because, you know, Zach Pannell previously fought Chad Lucanas in the BKFC ring. So I guess in just saying that, like, how much, I guess, anecdotal insight, if any, did you get from Chad heading into this fight against Zach Pannell, just because he has that direct connectivity to him in a BKFC sense?
Honestly, me and Chad haven't really talked about my opponent. I know. Obviously, Chad fought him, but you know, we never sat down and talked about, hey, how would you feel fighting this guy, this or that. No, I do my own research. Me and my coach, me and my coach, we do our own research. I know what I'm expecting from the guy. There's no need for me to ask Chad, hey, what happened here? What happened here? Kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's none of that. There's no need for that. I take care of myself.
No, I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. I just thought to ask because I saw you had that post a bit ago talking about how Jordan had Pippen and LeBron had Wade and everything like that. So maybe, yeah.
No, the reason why that post happened was a couple people wanted to see me and Chad fight each other, you know? And obviously Chad's my brother, you know? That's never going to happen. Not for free, not for money. It doesn't matter, right? So it was just more of a statement, like, you know, LeBron had Wade, you know, their brotherhood. Pippen and Jordan have their brotherhood. Me and Chad have our brotherhood, you know what I mean? We started our fight careers at the same time. We had our very first boxing matches as amateurs in the same fight card and just kept it going from there, you know what I mean? And then obviously our first professional fights were together in BKFC Edmonton, the first one. And then our fight careers, you know, we've been together the whole time.
And I guess when you say people have been wanting to see the two of you fight, like, is that more so people throughout the Canadian combat sports scene, or has BKFC specifically put that fight out to you, or like, what do you mean by that, I suppose?
People that want to see one of us fail. Right? They see my success, they see Chad's success. It seems like they know that both me and Chad are a problem, right? Some people might think so, other people don't think so, but we know we're a problem to the divisions themselves as well, right? We could have a run for the money for a lot of people at 55 and 45, and a lot of fans want to see us fight each other because of that. They want to see, hey, you know, who is the toughest Canadian? Who is this? Who is this? We're not about that.
Yeah, because I mean, referencing another post that I saw you put up, you referred to yourself and Chad as the number 1 and 2 ranked lightweights in Canada. So, yeah, no, I love to see that support. That strikes me as very curious, as some people would even suggest that, because, I mean, I wouldn't purport to be like an expert with you guys necessarily, but I mean, it seems like that Wolfhouse connectivity is so strong, and even the specific connection with you and Chad, like, it would seem ridiculous to me that anyone would think you guys would do that. So yeah, just love to see the mutual support between you guys and everything.
Oh, 100%. Like I said, my very first amateur boxing fight, he fought on that card too. I cornered him and he cornered me for those fights. You know what I mean? Like, it's, people just want to see somebody fall, you know what I mean? And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Not from us.
And I guess just being that you're, so involved in the lightweight division, and I'd seen some articles talking about how it's an express goal of yours down the line to compete for that title. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on them just announcing that 4-man lightweight tournament for the vacated championship after they had stripped Franco Tenaglia of the belt and everything like that. Like, what do you think of that 4-man lightweight tournament field and everything?
Honestly, I thought it was a good idea. Obviously, they stripped him. Ben Bonner fought for the interim with what was it? Was it Soto? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, Soto. Yeah.
Yeah, they fought for the interim. It's fine. The tournament is a good idea, but I think they should have opened it up from 4-man to maybe an 8-man tournament. There's a lot of people who deserve their respect within the division. One of them being like HD. He went 5 rounds with what's his name? I forgot his name. Fuck.
For which fight, sorry?
He went 5 rounds with Palomino, right? HD? Howard Davis?
Yeah, he did, yes.
Yeah, he won 5 rounds with Palomino, right? He lost that fight because of decision, but I feel like a person like him should have been thrown in there, thrown in that mix. And then, make it a 6-man tournament, make it an 8-man tournament, and have potential up-and-comers like myself join in as well, just to see if we can keep up, if we are part of the top. You know what I mean? But having the same 4 guys, one guy coming from 65, one guy coming from 45, and both champions coming in, it defeats the purpose. We're putting the division on hold. We're putting 2 divisions on hold. Obviously, Austin Shaw vacated his, but we have Kai, still the champion of 145. He's just holding up the division there. You know what I mean? Like, I think they should have made it an 8-man tournament, but hey, I'm not in the seats.
Yeah, it's an interesting field in a certain sense. I mean, I kind of agree with you. Like, I think it would be more intriguing if they had a more expansive tournament field. I guess with like the crop of names they have, though, like when the dust settles, do you have a defined idea of who you think emerges as the champion? Like, does Tenaglia become the lightweight champion again? Does Trout become a 2-division champion? I mean, does Palomino regain the title, or Ben Bonner become champion outright? Yeah,
it's a weird situation, but hey, they decided a 4-man tournament. The rest of us just gotta work our way up until we get, a contender shot or a title shot or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're doing a lot of great stuff to put yourself in that kind of position. So yeah, I guess it's almost just like just keep generating the kind of performances you're doing, and it would seem within your grasp kind of thing, I would imagine.
For sure, yes. Just got to keep working hard. I'm literally parked outside the gym. I don't know if the interview with you last time, it was the same exact situation, or I'm just parked outside the gym.
Yeah.
Having an interview.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. The work ethic is definitely something that's super evident with, I mean, all of you guys and everything. Like, it's going to be great to see, Drew Stuvo get out there on this card too and do his thing. So, yeah, just love to see that.
Yeah, all of us have been putting a lot of work in. Drew is going up a division as well, right? So, exciting to see the speed and the power that he's going to bring up to that division. So, it's all going to be exciting. It's a super exciting night.
Yeah, and I guess mentioning River Cree before and exciting things and big figures at Wolfhouse, like I remember talking to Ryan Ford many years ago about if he would be keen on doing some bare knuckle, and it looks like he's fighting Taylor Bull and Havoc FC towards the end of the year and everything. So, I mean, that's tremendously exciting. I mean, another big fixture from Wolfhouse that, will be interesting to see what he does in bare knuckle, and especially because, like I said, that anecdotal conversation I had with him, it seems like it's been on his radar for a few years now.
Yeah, he's brought it up multiple times. He spoke to the people at BKFC to see if they could line him up with something over there. Obviously, I don't know what's going on over there. The last I heard was that he was fighting in November, like you just said, with Bull there. So we just got to wait until, they send the contract out in September, October, and then we'll see the fight in November, right? It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, no, just such great guys and everything like that. And I feel like it's really, I don't know, happening at an interesting time. Like, I feel like you guys have really emerged as, like, the Canadian team in bare knuckle, and certainly one of the big, like, bare knuckle teams in the scene overall, and just these other, I guess, grassroots efforts to kind of fill out the circuit, like what I said with what Havoc FC is doing, and Rumble in the Cage and Lethbridge doing some bare knuckle as well. So yeah, it seems like an interesting time in the sport and just the journey of the team and everything.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what you just said. I have nothing else to add to that. Like when they first announced the tryouts, we offered up our gym, and then it just bare knuckle in Canada just started taking off from there, because before that tryout, Havoc wasn't doing any bare knuckle. Nowhere in Canada was doing any bare knuckle. Then the tryouts happened, and they announced the first prospect card, and then 2 weeks prior to the prospect card, Havoc decided, hey, let's just have 2 bare knuckle fights and see what happens, and then so they've been just doing that too.
Yeah, no, interesting times for sure, man. And just, yeah, no, super interesting fight here. Like when I saw you got lined up in this Zach Pannell fight, it was great to, see your name on the site and stuff like that. And like I said, with Drew as well. And just, I feel like those River Cree cards always deliver, man. So yeah, no, appreciate you making the time. It's always good getting to chat, Hasan, but I do also want to be mindful of your time and schedule. So do you have a final thought you maybe want to add as we're kind of wrapping up here, man?
Well, no, thank you for having me. In 3 weeks, August 9th, expect another knockout. It's gonna be probably just as good as the first 2, maybe even better. We'll see how I feel. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Oh, well, your track record certainly speaks well to your ability to generate these, highlight reel finishes. So yeah, if things go in your idealistic fashion, I mean, definitely seems like it's a possibility. I mean, like I said, you got that knockout of the year distinction and great things to come, and 2025 as well, it seems. So yeah, I'll be tuned into August 9th to see what's going on there with that BKFC Edmonton card. But again, Hasan, thank you for coming on Bare Knuckle Bowker today and giving some great insights. Looking forward to peeping the fight when it goes down. But until then, man, you have a good rest of your day, and thank you so much.
For sure. Thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you next time.